All right, hello. So I'm going to start off by talking about phonology. And first I want to talk about phonemes. And phonemes are the individual sounds in language. So I figured that, the individual sounds in the game could represent that. So maybe a bird chirping perhaps, or a car driving by. These sounds also have very subtle variations. So perhaps, a a high density housing is going to sound different than low density housing. And as things level up, they change. Yeah. Morphology is represented by the zones throughout the city. In within these zones, buildings have to be placed into zones pretty much. A lot of buildings do, not all of them, but a lot of buildings do. So yeah, so morpheme could be represented by the buildings themselves, as they are the smallest units in the game that have meaning. Some buildings are free, I'll show you an example here. Like the elementary school, boom, bada, bing, bang, can be built on its own. It's free. It can be built on its own, right? But it can also be upgraded with a playground. So the playground could be thought of as more so a bound one, or maybe like a suffix, and I'm suffixing by boom, bada bing bang, adding it afterwards. Syntax is represented by the roads and layout through the city. This is my favorite part, honestly. And syntax deals with how words and clauses are arranged to make sentences. So as you see, buildings cannot really operate. Most of them can't really operate if they're not placed on a road. So that's pretty also how it makes up syntax. But also look, boom. As you go along here, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. To go along quicker. As you go along here, you'll see how it's kind of like each road is like a sentence, and yeah, it's like the city is basically speaking to you. So yeah, listen. Oh, lag. Okay, so that's pretty dope. And now, while the roads allow the buildings to function, the actual function of the buildings represent semantics. So, like for lexical semantics, each different building, has a different function. For compositional semantics, the building's functions also work together to make meaning. So, for perhaps maybe the elementary school goes into the high school, goes into the college or university. All right, a house could be a homonym, since often the models for the buildings are the same, but they have different meanings, obviously, because two different families live there. Boom, bada, bing, bang. All right, discourse can be represented by the bubbles on the screen, telling you what the citizens think about the city. They're called chirps in the game, and the chirps are extremely meaningful because they're direct representations of the city, and they constantly change context based on the progression of your city. Thank you.